Hey, it's Ray. It's story time and something has happened. Okay, so I went to the ER like 2 days ago and let me tell y'all about my trip to the ER. So first of all, I was at work. I work at an embroidery shop in Georgia, and basically, if y'all don't know what embroidery is, it's like sewing a design on clothes, and we do like screen print and vinyl and sublimation and stuff like this. So I was working on the machine, doing some hats. It's like 5 o'clock ish, and usually every day I go to Kroger, which is like down the street, to get me a sandwich for lunch, and then I'll come back. And so that day it was 5:10 or something, and I was just like, I'm hungry, I need to get me a sandwich. So I'm gonna put this last hat on the machine, and then I'm gonna head to Kroger to get me my sandwich, because that sandwich is good with the honey mustard. Okay, anyway, so I'm putting the last hat on the machine, and I start the machine, but then I look down at the hat and there's some string laying on the hat, like in the way. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna move this string out the way so the hat can print good and I can go ahead and go to Kroger. Me being stupid decided to move the string while the machine was going, and then there's like, I hear a pop, and I'm like, oh Lord, what did I do? So I look at the machine and I look at the little needle on the machine, and the needle is gone. Like, the needle's cut in half, gone, like half of it is gone. And I'm like, well, where'd the needle go? And then I'm like, it can't be, like, but I look anyway. So I look at my thumb. The needle is in my thumb, y'all. The needle is in my thumb, and I could see it go through the other side. And so I'm like, oh Lord, I got the needle in my thumb, and there's like string hanging all over, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have this needle in my thumb. How am I gonna go to Kroger and get my sandwich? Like, I was really trying to get this sandwich. So blood is like everywhere, just dripping everywhere, and I don't want to get it on like the clothes or the hats or anything, because that's like extra money that I gotta pay for that I'm really not trying to pay for. So I'm like, had my hands cooked with like blood and stuff, trying to go to the back in another room to like rinse my hands off and whatnot. I cut the string off, and then I go to the back to wash my hands. I look at it, I was like, maybe I can get it out because it was sticking out the other side. So I look at my thumb, and the needle pushed back into my thumb, so you can't even like grab it to pull it out. I'm like, well crap, how am I gonna go to Kroger and get this sandwich, because I really want this sandwich, it's so good. Like, well, I gotta tell my boss, let her know why, like what happened or whatever. So I go to my boss. I'm like kind of scared to tell her, but I tell her anyway, like, okay, let's go in the back and see what we can do about it. And she's like freaking out, but I'm sitting here like, it's a needle in my finger, like it's not that bad. And so we're in the back, and she's just like, well, what's your doctor, like, I gotta take you to the hospital, and like, what's going on? And she's like freaking out, and I'm like, I can call my mom. She's like, go call your mom, call your mom. I call my mom on her cell phone. She doesn't answer. I'm like, maybe she's still at work. So I call her on her work phone. She doesn't answer. And I'm like, who am I gonna call? So I call my dad. So Dad, I got a needle stuck in my finger. He's like, what? And then my mom called. I told her the same thing I told him. I'm just sitting here like, so about that sandwich. I really wanted that sandwich, y'all. Anyway, she hangs up with my mom, and she goes, well, she's on her way, so let's get this cleaned up. Let's put something, wrap it with something. She has this first aid kit or whatever, and she pulls out some gauze and some salt water solution, and she like rinses it with the salt water and like wraps it in gauze. And then after she wraps my finger in gauze, it's like this freaking big. Like, what? Anyway, customers are coming in as usual. So bad, I know I have to pay for this, and I'm just like, calm down, it doesn't hurt, you know, it feels normal. So she's like, are you sure it's in there? I was like, yes, it's in there, I see it right here. Like, we're attending to the customers and whatnot, and then my mom pulls up and I get in the car. We're driving to the hospital. Well, not the hospital, but the ER, the urgent care center. Waiting list, and you have to sit for a certain amount of time. It tells you how much time that you have to sit for. And I look at the time, it's like 2 hours and 54 minutes. Literally 3 hours like of waiting. And I'm really sitting there like, well dang, if that was the case, I could have got me a sandwich from Kroger still. Like, I'm freaking hungry. I didn't eat anything. It's like 5:30 now, or 5:45 or something like that. I'm gonna run up here to this American Deli real quick and get me something to eat because I'm freaking hungry. With this big piece of gauze on my hand, everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy. At first she was like, so what seems to be the problem? And I was like, I have a needle on my finger. And she was like, how? So I told her the story, and then she was like, okay, let me go check and see if we can actually do it, because at that urgent care they're not supposed to cut in. She told me, let me go back and see, because we're not supposed to do surgery. And I was like, surgery for this? Like, no. She was like, not surgery, but they're not supposed to like actually cut your skin or do stitches or anything like that. So she went to the back and asked, and she was like, well, we're gonna set up an x-ray for you to see how deep it is and like that. So I took off the gauze or whatever, and she looked at it and she was like, how did you do this? And I had to show her because you couldn't really see because the needle pushed back in. So I showed her and everything, and it was thread sticking out the top. She was like, what? She sent us back out to the waiting room, and about 10 to 15 minutes later, they called me for an x-ray. So I went back to the back to get my x-ray done, and they were telling me to like turn my hand in all different types of positions. At first it was just like this, and then it was like this, like in a fist, but as long as I wasn't like pushing this thumb like this. And then they wanted me to turn it like this so they could see like the top part, and I was like, y'all doing the most, but whatever to get this nail out of my finger and this needle out of my finger, I'll do whatever. It didn't hurt, so I was just like, whatever. So after that, I went back into the waiting room, and I started getting tired, but my dad was like falling asleep because my mom went to the car. She was like, it's too cold in here, I need to go to the car. So she went to the car, and my dad was like falling asleep in the chair next to me. So I knew if I fall asleep, who's gonna be awake when they call my name? And neither one of us are gonna hear because we're both asleep. So I stayed awake, and there was like, since it's a children's hospital, children's urgent care, they had a little TV up, and the TV was playing like Nick Jr. and stuff like that. So I just decided to watch TV, and the only thing that was playing non-stop was the Bubble Guppies. Like, so I decided to watch the Bubble Guppies, and bubble guppy guppies, bubble guppy guppies, bubble guppy guppies. I watched that until like they call my name, like another hour or so. They called my name to go to the back. I started getting scared. I was like, this is gonna hurt so much, and I feel like I'm going to freaking, I don't even know, like it wasn't hurting then. So I was like, half of me was saying, you're not gonna feel a thing because you don't feel anything now, it's gonna be fine. The other half of me was saying, this is about to hurt like crazy, you should be scared. And so it was like half and half, like scared and not scared. I was trying to like play around and joke around so I wouldn't get like super scared. I was was trying to play around so I wouldn't get like super duper scared. So I was like, are you gonna numb me? And she was like, yeah, we're not trying to torture you. So I was like, woo, that kind of calmed my nerves a little bit, until, you know, she got the syringe to, not the syringe, the needle to put the numbing medicine in. That needle was so big. That needle was like this big, this big. Like, what? Why is that needle so freaking long? And then I looked, and then I saw the needle, and I got super scared. And then I realized that numbing medicine hurts like crazy. So she's like holding my hand about this, and I'm like, wait. And my dad, or my mom left the room because she couldn't handle it. So my dad is sitting there. He was like, hold my hand. So I held his hand. I was like, wait. I was trying to like calm myself. I was trying to like get myself ready. And the lady was like, hold on. You already have one needle in your finger. Like, how much will it hurt if you get another one? If you get another one, it's just gonna stick you right on the surface. And I was like, no, wait. She was like holding my hand down, and I'm like, wait, I'm serious. Like, wait, I'm not playing no more. I'm serious. Wait. But she wasn't listening. So my dad was like, calm down, look at me. She stuck me out of nowhere, and oh my gosh, it hurt like crazy. Like, that numbing medicine is no joke. I went to, on the scale of 1 to 10 pain, I was at a 1 at first before she stuck me with the needle. When she stuck me with that needle, it went all the way up to like 7. I was like I could not take it. And my dad's like holding my hand. I'm like squeezing his hand super tight, and like tears falling. I was crying. I was like scared. I was like, this hurts too much. Ooh. It's like when your like leg goes to sleep for a long time. Like when your leg falls asleep for a long time, or it's in the same position for a long time, and you try to move it and it's asleep and it doesn't want to move and it hurts. That's how it felt. Like, it was a hurting numbness. Like, it hurt so bad, and eventually the hurting went away, and then it was just numb. She waited a while for the numbing medicine to actually kick in, and then that's when they tried to pull the needle out. And it wasn't like numb, it was numb to pain, but I still felt what they were doing. Like, I felt she had to like cut a hole in my skin, so I still felt her like cutting my skin and pulling my skin back. Sounds painful, but it wasn't. Took a while because she cut away the skin, but she didn't have room to actually grab the needle. Like, it kept slipping, and she would grab it with the tweezers, but when she would try to pull, it would just slide right off because there was so much blood everywhere. So they kept having to cut away so she could grab the needle and pull it. It felt like forever, but I'm pretty sure it was only like 30 minutes, which is a long time, but it felt like hours, to be honest. Eventually she got it out. Let me show y'all the needle. She asked me if I wanted to keep it, and I was like, yes. So let me get that. Okay, so after she got the needle out, the string was still in my thumb, so she had to pull the string through, and I could feel that too, but it wasn't hurting or anything. The string was all bloody, so she threw it away. And this is the needle. Let's see if you can see it. I hope this is like zoomed in right. So there it is right there. I had to take some antibiotics because the needle it scraped my bone, so to prevent infection. I didn't get a tetanus shot, so that's what antibiotics are for. It's called amoxicillin, clavulanate, potassium tablets. But this is where the needle went in at when on the machine. This is where it went in at. This little cut right here, and this is right here is where they took it out at, because that's where it was closer to the surface, so they had to like cut away the skin and pull the needle out through there. Pills are freaking huge. Like, this is the biggest pills I've ever had to take. These are the biggest pills I've ever seen, and they gave it to me at a children's hospital. Like, what? Look at this. This is freaking big. This is huge. Yeah, that is the story of how I got a needle stuck in my finger and my trip to the children's ER. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe to my channel. Yeah. Make sure you like this video if you like my story time and you want to see more, hear more stories from me. What type of stories y'all want to hear? Yeah. Okay, bye guys. Yeah, moral of the story is do not do anything that can stop you from getting a sandwich from Kroger, because I was really trying to get that Kroger sandwich, but diarrhea can come early, and that if it does, then I need to go see a doctor ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. Ooh, ASAP, ASAP. Okay.